Sup guys, it's Kosh, and today we are taking a look at the engraving priority in AFK Arena. This is a guide that I found on Reddit, on Discord. The guy sent it to me. By the way, join the Discord, a lot of useful stuff over there. So I'm pretty sure it was on Reddit at one moment, but I kinda missed it. So this is engraving priority. It was made on February, so it's a little bit old, but I took a look at it and I think that this info will be useful for most of you guys because it's still solid, it's still active, and all of those heroes are necessary for your progression, so we'll go over it right now. So the first things first, that guide is powered by Sprouts and design made by Basilio, research by Ben, Christensen and Neo, so those guys are actually working on it. Important note, like the list of the heroes here, there is not objectively optimal order. This guide is intended to reduce risk of bad investments and it is based on accounts proven to push min power requirements, at least before 182 nerfs. So yeah, that's kinda useful, guys, to know who to invest in on engraving, so you won't waste that stuff. Back in the day when engraving was out, we thought that there will be a reset for all the heroes, but it's a reset for only one hero, and now I think it's gone for most people, so you would like to know where to put those hard-earned engraving materials in order to get the most impact. So this is a campaign-focused approach, as most of you guys are really want to push the campaign. Everything else for you is secondary. I don't agree with it that much, because I think Cursed Realm, especially at later stage when you are at chapter 39 or so, is more important. But it's up to you, so we'll talk about that in a second as well. But for now, let's go over the guide, and after that I'll voice my opinion on this matter. So, first priority. These benchmarks have the highest impact on campaign for most accounts. Obviously, number one here is Lucretia, and they say you want to build her to E41, E44. So this is like not the top investment, but most important one and most useful one. Why? First thing is because like the higher engraving levels require you way more materials. So it's really hard to level all your heroes to E60 unless you're a whale or something. And yeah, it takes a lot of time to harvest those materials. And sometimes it will be useful to spread them between the heroes. So instead of going only for Lucretia, you can give some to Ainz, give some to Gradual, and so on and so on. And that will make your overall 5 campaign team stronger and overall progression in other areas better. So let's go over the guide. E41, E44, mostly for attack, critical damage amplification, physical fears, and basically the attack, haste, and all those stats. All those milestones are over here on the engraving tree, so you can actually see how many points to put where. That's the recommendation for Lucretia. Next one is Ainz. For Ainz we have E41. Like, my personal opinion on all that, I can't wait, I'll tell it right now, that for Ainz and Lucretia you want to go straight to E60. Like, that's what I did, that's what most people do, that's what I would recommend, specifically for Ainz, because he's useful in different other game modes, in the PvP, in the Voyage of Wonders, everywhere. Like, he's your go-to guy for Trials of God, for example, if you haven't finished those yet, for, how's it called? Misty Valley, and every other mode you use Ainz quite a lot, so maybe getting him to E60 to make him the most strong hero on your team is a good idea, but okay, that's my opinion. Let's go back to the guide. If it's wrong, let me know in the comments. If you have your own opinions about this, same in the comments down there, and give a like for the finding the old guides and voicing them for you if you missed that. If you've seen that, write it down as well. If you haven't, give a like, because I'm curious how many of you guys seen this. I haven't. How did I miss it? I don't know. So for Ainz we have attack plus magical pierce plus attack speed. So those nodes are important for Ainz because they will give him more attack, and for Ainz you want to have the most attack possible. Next one is Gradual. Gradual is really viable and important guy, not only for the campaign progression but also for the boss fights, so you'd really want to invest in him quite a lot, and that's E36, that's not that much. By the way, on top of the hero you have the costs, so 3,750 shards for E30 and 900 shards, advanced shards, I don't know how they're called, for E36. Here you go for haste and critical damage amplifications. Those two nodes, they will help him to be more useful in the campaign. But once again, for this guy, you might want to go for E60. He's that useful at all the boss fights in the Cursed Realm and everywhere, really useful. Next one is Raku. Raku is another good team for campaign. I actually haven't done the Raku video. I will do that soon, so we will have the Raku meta team. For this guy, we want E41, E44, attack, haste, accuracy, attack speed. So basically, we want all the offensive stats for him, and that costs quite a lot already right here. Those are the nodes that you want for him. Another one is Kran. For, well, I don't know. I don't really use Kran in my campaign that much, honestly. For me, he's weakling, but some people use him, and he can be quite viable. For him, you want him at really low investment, E33, or for better progression, E38, E41, so that's easier to build. Moreover, he will be useful for you in the faction tower, so it's a good idea to build him anyway. Some nodes over here for haste, attack, and physical fears, so you want that for more damage. And then we have Odin, and why Odin is good? Because he is a fantastic disabler of enemies, draining them and good damage dealer. We have magical pierce, haste, attack, critical damage amplification, mana pierce, and crit. And those are the nodes that you want to build on Odin. So this is for, oh my god, for the first line, first priority. You want to get those guys before everyone else. I can argue with that, kinda, not that much, but kinda. We will get to that when we'll get to the bottom line. Now, here we have the second strange. Basically, we want to get, oh, that's interesting. We want to get Lucretia to E60, then we want to get Gradual to E60 or E61 for more haste over here with this node over here. And the costs are insanely high here. Next one is getting Lucretia to E65, E85. My personal opinion, for free-to-play players, for casual players, you don't need that. Like, honestly, my Lucretia team is tearing through the enemies and other teams are weaker, so I don't need that. You probably don't need that as well. That will cost you quite a lot, and you can spend that on someone else, and I will tell you who to spend them on, so I don't recommend doing this, personally. Like, as it was said over here, this is to lower the minimum power requirements for the push. So basically, you should be at the stage when they say you can't push anymore because of your power. So, you know, it's not the best idea. So yeah, I wouldn't go for this, like, personally. Then we got E30 guys over here. We have Pharrell, we have Zolrat, and E30, E41 for this guy. So we can get some additional attack because he is really useful. You want to build him to E60 at some point. Da Vinci, haste plus tenacity, I think, for one, so his debuffs won't miss. Prince of Persia for E30 and E30. That's unexpected. I haven't really seen him in any team compositions for the campaign, so I'm surprised. He's good with the Raku team sometimes, but overall, that's kind of weird. But here are the nodes. We are following the guide now, my thoughts later. And Aaron. For Aaron, we want haste and physical pierce. So haste, he needs haste in order to pull the enemy before he will be attacked. So that's really useful for 5 pull for Lucretia team. So that's kind of necessary as well. Although I think my Aaron doesn't have that. Alright, so let's move on to the branching out. At this point, it is possible to consistently hit campaign power cap, and investment can be diversified based upon account goals. So what's important about this guide, guys, that like you don't really have to follow this order that much. You can diversify between the heroes, and on the same time, while you build the main guys at the top, you can start investing at the bottom, guys. So there we go. Let's go through the legend at the bottom first. The legend, this is a campaign on the left, then we got the PvP, then we got the Cursed Realm with this crown over there. Twisted Realm bosses is next one, and then Abyssal Expedition on the right. Eins. For Eins, we use him in most modes other than Expedition and the Cursed Realm bosses. Twisted Realm bosses, yeah. And we want to get him with attack, and I mean, that's definitely a whale way to do this. Like, I don't recommend getting anyone over E60 if you are a low tier player, if you're free to play, because it doesn't worth it that much. Like, you can do with just E60 and you will get most gains from the engraving. After that, each next step will be extremely expensive and you won't get that upgraded skill, which is important that much. You will get just a little bit of stats, and you need to do that only in case if your hero, if your team with that hero is kinda lacking something. So that's my opinion on that, my take on that. Then we have Mishka, E60, because she's useful everywhere basically, but Twisted Realm. We got Rosalind here. I'm surprised. She will get additional haste, so that will help her to build her mana faster and use that more faster, and that's only useful in the campaign, so I don't think it's really good. But if you have extra first tier resources for engraving, the shards, not the crystals but the shards, you can spend them here. It's a good hero and she's useful everywhere anyway, so you can use her later on. She won't be a waste. Then we have this fantastic guy, E64 Halos. Now this guy is useful everywhere and I recommend building him up to E60, and that's kind of the milestone where he becomes mostly useful, and you will need him at the new Twisted Realm bosses, so it's a good idea to go for him like that anyway, so yeah. After that, useful everywhere, yeah. Next one is Odin, E60, same stuff over here. He is not that useful in the, what's that, campaign only, and Cursed Realm. What was this? PvP? I think it was PvP. So he is not useful in the PvP, not useful in the Twisted Realm, and not useful in the Expedition. But I mean, I wouldn't count Expedition as the main thing unless you are in the competitive guild that's going for the top places, because even if you're extremely casual player, you should be able to do most in the Expedition, get the Prince rank and get most of that damage required for the rewards at the boss. So I don't know how useful that last one. You decide for yourself where you focus your playthrough, right? Next one, Raku. E60, E65. Since Raku is a really cool guy, getting him additional attack might be useful. But then again, I think that should be done only after you maxed out other heroes, so you don't want to go to E60 plus for anyone unless you maxed out everyone else for E60 who you want to. That will be a waste in my opinion. Next one is Kran. For Kran we have same stuff, E60, E65, just like Raku, same build, but he is useful only in the campaign, so I guess there is some really good Kran team for the campaign that's blowing everybody's heads off. I haven't seen that one yet myself. I'll try to take a look and make a video on that later when I will find it out. If you have idea about that, once again, link it down there in the comments and I can make a video about that guide. Now here we have Silas for E30, E60. That's a really good investment because he is one of the best support heroes in the game and he is useful in most game modes, so you won't regret building him up. Basically get everything you can for him. That's direct campaign usage over here. And now we have other usages. Let's go from the start. Twins. E33, E61. Haste plus healing received. Twins are useful everywhere but in the campaign. And E30 will make them more alive. They won't die that much. And they will be faster because of the haste. So that's a good investment for E30. Going higher than that, I don't really think. So E33 with 1 point over there is a good investment. Higher, I think after you build everyone, or if you feel that at some boss fights the twins are dying way too early and because of that you lack the damage that you need to climb higher. Those are the options. Now we have Mortas for E30, E60. That's funny, because most people have Mortas at Elite Plus or maybe Mythic. Not many people have him Ascended, and that will be required at some point, I agree. And if you have him Ascended, obviously you want to get him Engraving because that will give him the stats and he is useful in all the game modes other than campaign, so that's a good investment in my opinion. I am going for him right now on the Stargazer. So I got Halos, now I'm building him up. Next one, Entendra. Now this is really interesting, she's useful mostly in the Cursed Realm and in some Twisted Realm fights. Since she is celerity here, she can be used in the Expedition as well, but you can live without her as well. For her you want E33, E44 or E66. Here are the nodes that you want to build. The question is if you want to build it, if you have extra resources for that, because my top priority would be this lady, because that will improve your damage on the guild bosses and some events, and she can be useful in the campaign as well. I don't know, people don't use her in the campaign. She can be useful in the campaign. Scarlet. Scarlet is a key hero to the boss damage, and honestly, I think for her, I got her to E60, and I think for her, she will be the first hero to get to E66 to get additional attack and attack speed. That will increase the damage, at the bosses, that will give you more resources that you can use to build up faster. So yeah, I think that might be worth it for her, and she's useful in the Cursed Realm and in the Twisted Realm, so basically she's your go-to guy, well, lady, for the bosses, so why the hell not? Next one, this lady, Astar. I remember everyone's name, nice. Astar is a nice hero for the Cursed Realm, and she requires E30, E60 investment, so you can get her to E30 quite easily, and that will be worth it, so why the hell not? E60, I think that's not the top priority, because, like, she's really not the top tier hero. She's really good, don't get me wrong, she's really good, but there are other priorities, and before you build all those heroes that we listed over here, you don't want to build her up, so you gotta follow the particular order in order to make it more efficient. Who do we have over here? I forgot his name, but he is useful in the expedition and the PvP. I don't really do PvP that much, but if you do that, that might be a good idea to give him E60, probably good PvP hero. I'll try to remember his name. No, I failed. So yeah, same about Athalia, mostly useful at the PvP. E60 is a good investment in her, really good PvP hero, but then again, outside of that, not much of a use. I think I saw her in some Cursed Realm compositions, team compositions, but not that much. So okay, additional notes, there is another class of investments made to address min power cap, like Scryat, Lorsan, Queen. These decisions are for a different target audience and are not included in this graphic. So obviously, mad thanks to all the people over here, a lot of names. Special thanks to InSeason and AFK Analytica for knowledge base and data that support our research. So guys, yeah, a lot of useful stuff here. As promised, oh yeah, look at this. Resources requirements. You should kind of take a note, take a screenshot of that right now. That will be useful for you. So that will kind of help you to figure out how many of those resources do you need to get each hero to E30 or E60. So for the shards, it's 3,750 shards, and for the cores, it's 4.5k cores to get to E60. Extremely expensive and hard to get, guys. Very expensive. Crazy. So yeah, as promised, I will give you my opinion on this guide. It's a good guide, don't get me wrong. But I think there are some aspects that are a bit wailed out, like this E85 Lucretia. I mean, yes, that will be cool, but getting those extra shards, extra cores, I'm sorry, will go better for Mishka, for Ainz, for Helios, for Scarlet, for Mortis, for Twins. So, I mean, yeah, not Twins. Twins get shards. But yeah, most of those guys will benefit way more from those shards than getting Lucretia to E85, because that's an overkill, to be honest. Like in the most campaign scenarios, you will get the different weakest team. Let me go to my teams, okay? So guys, here are my 5 teams for 5 fights. Let's take a look who is the weakest one. Lucretia 5 pull. They destroy everyone, no problem, so that's not the case. Like one of the strongest teams. Then we have Graveborn team, who is really strong as well. Then I use Ainz team. Ainz team decimates everyone. Everyone, guys. That's OP. Then we have Charm team. Now this one is weaker. So Mihira Charm for me is one of my weakest teams. Even with Raku in that team... So, where is my Raku? He left me. Even with Raku in this team, they still sometimes struggle, and sometimes they struggle really hard. So yeah, here we have some issues. And the last team is basically Scarlet team, because like I don't have the 50, probably should be the Cran team. I don't have it, I haven't built anything yet, and I use the random team, and those guys are sometimes even better than the Charm team. So my conclusions from this, like those 3 teams over here, Lucretia, Graveborn, and Ainz, are so powerful that you don't need to invest them right now to progress, because they blow up through everything. You want to work on those teams that are weaker, and that's how you should balance your investment. Like when you feel that some teams is overpowered, you don't need to invest any more in them because they will destroy everything anyway, right? You want to invest in the weaker teams that you have troubles with, right? So that's why I would recommend investing in someone like Rock over here to get this team stronger, or making the fifth team proper fifth team in order to take out the enemies that are hardly taken out. So I hope you get what I mean, guys. Basically, you want to invest in the heroes that are lacking, or the heroes that will boost your progression in the Cursed Realm, in the Twisted Realm, in the boss fights, and you can get more resources every day instead of progressing the campaign a little bit and getting one additional reward at the Misty Valley. That's all your rewards for progressing the campaign to the next chapter. One Misty Valley reward, and that's once a month. Does it worth it? I'm not sure. You tell me in the comments down below. And while you're going there, guys, don't forget to like the video and share this video with your friends, and please subscribe to this channel. We have 10k right now, 10k subs. Fantastic. Thank you, guys. And check the pinned comment in the video description for the links. We have a link tree over there with all the links about everything. And you can join the Discord where we discuss everything. Kosh over here. And yeah, we discuss everything here. AFK Arena, active chat, a lot of people, nice place to be. Welcome screen where you can click this thing to get the notifications. And you won't miss any new videos after that, because notifications will be going right through the Discord. And I don't spam this that much, so you are not here to be spammed. And other than that, guys, thank you very much for watching. That's about it for now. Stan Kosh out. Have a good one.